Hi, everybody. Today I want to talk about one of the most asked questions that I run into with my clients, which is I'm looking for a job and not just looking for a job. I'm looking for meaningful work. I'm looking for purpose in life. How can I do that using my intuition? And the truth is, I frankly think that's the only way you can actually find a really meaningful job, a really meaningful purpose. And I do know that when it comes to looking for meaningful work, it's more than just a financial payday. It's more than just security, although those things certainly do happen to make a big difference. What really matters is that the work I'm doing brings me a sense of contribution to the world. It brings me a sense of meaning to my life, and that what I do and how I use my time matters. So we can't go about that just using our head, because frankly, most of what's in our head doesn't really speak to what matters in our hearts. So a couple of things you can do is, first, you want to get clear about whether or not you want to work for yourself or you want to work for someone else. And here's a little couple of steps that I use, and it works every time. I have a tool called Diving for Gold, and I want to use that tool today. And it's very simple, but you have to follow the steps exactly. So first of all, you want to move the obstacles out of the way. And the number one obstacle to tapping into your intuition for a job, or frankly for anything, is fear. So it's not that you have to get over fear. What you have to get over is hiding fear, because if you hide it, it controls you. So here's the tool. What I want you to do is, for the next 3 minutes after this video is finished, I want you to say out loud, if I weren't afraid, if I wasn't afraid, I would, and then fill in the blank. I want you to do that out loud for 3 minutes. Put a timer on your phone, make sure that you don't cut yourself short, and just be spontaneous as possible. And you can repeat yourself. It doesn't matter if you say the same thing 5 times, but what will happen is 2 very important things. The first is, if you're hiding fear, you can't get to your intuition. You can't even get to guidance at all. All you get to is a big roadblock, and it feels very dense and intense and unpleasant and keeps you from tuning into anything. So it empties the garbage. It gets the letting the fear express moves that energy on. So after you finish this 3-minute emptying of the garbage, I want you to take a deep breath and really reflect on the things that you said you would do. If I weren't afraid, I would work for myself. If I weren't afraid, I would work with volunteer work for people who are passing away. I would look for work with children. I would travel. And it really can be an eye-opener, because what it reveals is what's really in your heart. So you take the content of what you revealed, and you look through it, and you look to see what you said is, if I weren't afraid, I would do the things that truly inspire me. I would do the things that lift me up. I would do the things that speak to me. And don't let your logic brain get involved here. Your logic brain will say, well, that's not going to pay your bills, but you don't know. You have no idea. So you want to really give yourself the opportunity to get clear about what matters to you, because then you can shape your work effort, your work search, or your creative goals to align with the things that really speak to you. Now, once is not enough. I believe you need to do this every day for 30 days to 40 days. Now, here's where it gets exciting. When you do this for 3 minutes every day out loud, you can do it in the shower, by the way. That's a really good place to do it. Where you have privacy, you can speak out, you're moving, the water is moving the energy. And what will happen is that certain things become consistently apparent. You'll begin to say the same things over and over. So maybe the first time you say it, you're kind of just making things up. But once you start to say this every day for 30 to 40 days out loud, you begin to understand and connect with your heart. And that's where you actually begin to feel your intuition. And then secondly, and this is exciting, is as you speak from the heart, that releases a vibration into the world that's very true and honest and pure. And guess what? It begins to attract to you the very things you're saying you want to connect with. It begins to pull it out of the energy field because vibration matches vibration. So I had a client who said if I weren't afraid, I would work in magazines, I would do a blog, I would write short stories for children, I would be more creative. And after 40 days, she did in fact attract to herself a job where she was able to work on a blog with a girlfriend, and they started a blog for children. So she kind of jiggled her way into the path of meaning and purpose. Now I want to address another thing, because looking for a job is one thing and looking for meaning in life is another. So we cannot necessarily connect employment with purpose, at least at the outset. You want to look for meaningful employment that excites you. You want to speak about that. So talk about the kinds of jobs. There's another way you can use this same tool. My perfect job would be, and fill in the blank. I'd get up every day and this is what I would do, fill in the blank. Again, it's the 30 to 40 day consistent 3 minutes that establishes a vibration that's strong enough and consistent enough that it begins to attract to you the things that you say you would love. Don't worry if you jump all over the place. The thing is, if you say every day for 3 minutes what you would love to do, what you would love to experience, in addition to 3 minutes every day of what I would do if I wasn't afraid, the combination creates a very consistent, stable, attractive vibration of opportunity. And before you know it, things will start showing up, as well as you start moving in the direction. So you're moving in the direction of your heart, and your heart starts to move in the direction of you, and then they meet. And so you have this wonderful convergence, which people would say, wow, how did that happen? It's synchronistic, it's magic, it's a miracle. But it is a vibrational mirroring of the uncensored heart. And that is what really helps you find a job. Now, sound is important, and our intuitive faculties are tied into hearing and listening, not just with our ears, but with our entire body. But what is most influential and what you listen to most is the sound of your own voice, externally and internally. So you have to be attentive to what you're saying. You have to be attentive to say, this is what I would do if I weren't afraid, instead of saying, because I'm afraid, this is all that's out there. It's not, some people have asked me, if I speak about my fears, aren't I amplifying them? Actually, no, it amplifies your fear if you deny it and you hide it and you sit on it and you let it run your life. So, but you're thinking about, this is emptying the garbage. So it's not like I'm saying these are facts that run my life. You're saying this is a garbage that's interfering with my flow, my intuition, my awareness. I'm going to move it out by expressing it out. That's how that works. So you empty the garbage every day, and then you say, this is what I would love, and talk about what you would love. For many years, I talked about, when I was in college, I lived in France, and I loved it so much that I talked about it for many, many years. And guess what? 6 years ago, I moved back to France. I am back where I loved it, and it just kind of came about very spontaneously and serendipitously. And yet I had been really saying I would love this for years. So this is a way where you consciously tune in and you begin to set the intention. Now, once you set the intention and you align with your heart, then your intuition is going to start scanning the field for vibrational matches. So that's where your intuition can kick in. But until you're attuned to your heart, your intuition isn't going to help you. If you're really bent on saying, I just need to get any job and there's no jobs out there and I have to take what I can or what my parents told me to do, your intuition isn't connected to that because it's not something that you love. You're not speaking from a place of real love, real excitement, real enthusiasm, real authenticity. You're just speaking from outside influence. So that's why you hit so many dead-end roads. So we have 3 steps. The first step, you empty the garbage of what you fear. If I weren't afraid, I would put it out there. Just empty the garbage. And listen and pay attention to what comes up. What would you do? What came out? And you look over that, you'll start to notice a consistent intention. You can notice it, like your heart speaking regularly starts to reveal a lot that maybe you weren't aware of. Secondly, we talk about what I would love. You know, most people don't talk about what they would love. Most people talk about what they hate. And sound of your own voice is the most attractive magnet. So the more you say what you don't want, but it's coming from your own voice, comes at you. I'm sure this isn't new information, but I just want to re-emphasize it for you that if you talk about what you love, it's very empowering and it's a very magnetic field. Then step 3, your intuition starts to say, okay, now, because your intuition means inner guidance, it starts to say, okay, this is what your heart wants. This is your spirit, your authentic self. I'm going to start scanning for it. Now that I know what I need to look for, I will start looking for that. With the clear intention and the clear guidance, intuition amplifies. So you have these 3 steps: empty the garbage, emphasize what you love, then start paying attention to what is coming to your awareness. So you want to notice that intuition is not thinking. It's feeling. So whenever you do get a feeling, speak it out loud. Because once you name it, you claim it. Once you say something out loud, then it's very difficult to ignore. It's very easy to ignore your intuition if you never mention or you never express it, you never share it. It's easy to disappear. It's easy to ignore and push away, and then you regret it later. So the last piece of this is that when you do get a hit, an aha, a hunch, just say it out loud. And the way you say it is my vibes say, my intuition says, and fill in the blank again. Now this is important. When you get a piece of information from your intuition, it's giving you an opportunity to make a choice. You can follow it or not. You have free will. But if you don't express it, you don't give yourself a chance to really follow it. So these steps really will help you find the kind of work, the kind of job that really will bring you fulfillment. It takes maybe 6 weeks, a month. Go about your regular efforts as well at the same time. You don't have to abandon anything, but when you align your focus, your intention, your heart, your belly, your words, then your intuition begins to just cooperate with that, and you start getting really fantastic guidance. Now, the only last thing I want to say is the guidance isn't going to be necessarily something that drops in your head like call this person or do that. It may, but it also might just move you physically into place to be at the right place, the right time, have the right connection. So you want to know that it'll come in a number of directions. So all you have to do is just expect a good outcome. Be aware, follow your guidance, say it out loud, be willing to explore it. And that whole combination will definitely help you find the kind of meaningful, creative work that you want. So I hope you like this little bit of tips and tools. I hope you subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. And if you know anybody who is struggling and trying to use their intuition to move forward in a meaningful way in their work or their creativity, share this video with them. It could be very helpful. And besides, then you'll have an intuition buddy. Okay, it's been a pleasure, and I look forward to seeing you again. All my love.